Happy New Year, everybody. I'm excited to start off this new year with this annual tradition of my most anticipated movies this upcoming year. This is, I think, the fourth time I've done this since I started my channel at the beginning of 2019, and I'm just really excited to get back into it. So, without further ado, these are the 26 movies I'm most excited for in 2022. At number 26, DC League of Super Pets. This movie could be fun. There's some aspects of the trailers that I liked, like Crypto and his relationship with Superman. But there's also other aspects, like the scenes with all the animals together. They're just kind of cringy and awkward and basic kids movie stuff. So this movie, I'm hopeful it could have a lot of emotions and heart and a fun portrayal of the Justice League with a good voice cast. It's just some aspects of it seem kind of basic, which is why I'm kind of excited, but not like super excited. At number 5, Minions: The Rise of Gru. I've always been someone who liked the Minions movies and the Despicable Me movies. I think the first one's just genuinely a great kids movie. The second one's really solid too. And even though the Minions movie is not great, I kind of have a soft spot for it since when I first saw it, it was in theaters and I was a kid. Despicable Me 3, I didn't really like that much though. But this movie from the trailers looks like it'll be somewhat entertaining, like very much. I've kind of grown past the franchise, but I think I could find some enjoyment in it. Maybe even some nostalgia since I loved these movies growing up. So this is a movie I expect to love, but this is a movie I expect to at least kind of entertain me a little. At number 24, Halloween Ends. This one is a mixed bag for me because I'm enjoying the Halloween movies more and more. I've been watching them because I've seen the original and the 2018 one, both of which I really, really loved. But then Halloween Kills was just really disappointing for me and kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, which kind of lessens my hype for this movie. So if this movie is a very satisfying, genuine conclusion between the story of Michael Myers and Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode, I think it could turn out really, really well. I just hope it's more like Halloween 2018 than Halloween Kills. 23, Uncharted. I haven't played any of the Uncharted games, but this movie just looks like a solid, fun action-adventure movie. Nothing too exciting, nothing too excessively original. But Tom Holland leading this globe-trotting adventure movie, which looks like it has a decent sense of humor and some cool action and set pieces. It doesn't look amazing, but it looks fun and entertaining, so I'm definitely willing to check this one out. Number 22, Super Mario Bros. This one is gonna be weird because they announced it with this strange voice cast with Chris Pratt and Charlie Day and Jack Black and Seth Rogen, and I could go on. But it is just going to be such a strange movie that I'm kind of excited because either it's going to be, at best, a decently good Mario movie or at worst, really cringy but entertaining in how cringy it is. So, no matter how this one turns out, I'm excited to check it out. At number 21, Strange World. This is the new Disney, I think it's the 61st Disney Studios original animated movie. And just based on the concept art and the title alone, it looks like it's going to be exploring cool 50s-style sci-fi tropes. So even though I know basically nothing about it, just based on the little bit Disney has showed, I'm pretty excited for it. Disney's had a great track record for me in the past few years, so I'm really excited to check this movie out. Number 20, Turning Red. This is the next Pixar movie. We've gotten a couple trailers for it, and even though it's a little cringy at times, I just like the basic concept of this kind of metaphor for puberty is a girl that is just turns into a red panda whenever she gets too overwhelmed. And it looks like a great kind of metaphor for stress and anxiety and growing up. And I just think it looks really fun and sweet at times. Nothing too, amazing, but it's Pixar, so I absolutely trust them. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the first trailer, I thought the second trailer was pretty solid, and I'm excited to see this one. At number 19, Aquaman 2. I liked the first Aquaman. I thought it was big and fun, and it was dumb, and it knew it was dumb, and it benefited from that. And this is a movie that I'm kind of excited to check out because even though we haven't really seen a lot to sell me on it, I enjoyed the first one. I'm excited to see more Aquaman content. With all the stuff going on around with Amber Heard, I feel weird about that. I haven't really settled on an opinion on that, and I don't think I'll be one of those people boycotting this movie, but I don't know. I feel like Aquaman was a once in a lightning in a bottle thing of how dumb and fun it could be. And I feel like this one has a decent chance of being bad, but I still feel like I'll enjoy it. Number 18, The Fabelmans. This is a movie, you may not know what it is, but it is a movie directed by Steven Spielberg about his early life, and I think that sounds just great. Like, a movie about a coming-of-age drama about a young Steven Spielberg just sounds really entertaining. Directed by him himself. It's got a solid cast with Seth Rogen and Michelle Williams. So even though we don't know much, I like Steven Spielberg. I like coming-of-age stories. It's got a good cast. I'm excited to see it. At number 17, Killers of the Flower Moon. I had to read this book a few years ago for my freshman year English class, and while for the most part I read on SparkNotes, the things I did read was pretty solid. It's got a good mystery around it, and with like a great cast with Brendan Fraser and Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese directing, I think it could be a really well done mystery drama crime film, which is why I'm pretty excited for this. At number 16, Morbius. I'm mostly excited for this to see how it ties into the rest of the Spider-Man franchise, with how it kind of has teases with Oscorp, and it kind of indirectly references Venom, and Michael Keaton's in it, maybe as Vulture. So, but even like stuff not regarding that, I think it looks entertaining. Like just a fun supervillain movie about a vampire going nuts on these cops and kind of struggling between being good and being bad. Doesn't look amazing, but I'm excited to see how it ties into the Spider-Man franchise, and I feel like at the very least I'll enjoy it. Number 15, Black Adam. We haven't seen much about this, but Dwayne Johnson leading a darker DC movie with intense action sounds really cool. I'm excited with like this whole secondary cast is introduced. Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, Cyclone, Hawkman. And I think it's going to be a really interesting DC movie. Probably one of the more unique movies they put out in the past few years. And while it could turn out as like a very basic movie, I think it could be very entertaining. And Dwayne Johnson's promised that it'll be very intense. So I'm looking forward to that aspect to it. Number 14, White Noise. This is a Netflix movie. It's based off a book from the 80s about like a gas cloud that goes over a town as a professor tries to like save his family and solve the issue. It's going to be a Netflix original. It's directed by the director of Marriage Story. And for the most part, I'm excited for this movie because I am in it. I'm an extra in it. They filmed near my home, so I'm an extra in a scene. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's very possible I could be cut from the movie. But hey, just a prospect that I will have a scene in a movie with Adam Driver in it sounds pretty dang cool, which is why I'm excited for White Noise. Number 13, Avatar 2. While it has been a long time since I've seen the first Avatar, I love the Disney theme park area. I love the music. And I just feel like this is going to be a visually awesome movie. And while story-wise it could end up being basic, they added some cool new members to the cast, like Kate Winslet, and apparently Vin Diesel's going to be in these new movies. But at the very least, these movies I feel like are going to be visually and technically stunning. So I'm excited for this one in that aspect. Number 12, Babylon. This movie is the director of La La Land, with Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and Tobey Maguire as the cast, in a drama about 1920s Hollywood. Yes, please. I would very much like that, especially considering La La Land's like my favorite movie of all time, tied with the original Star Wars. Fantastic cast, great setting. This movie just sounds like I don't think it's a musical. If it was, it would be tailor-made for me, but still, it sounds like it's a movie that was meant for me, so I'm excited. Number 11, Top Gun Maverick. This is like the third year in a row. This is on my most anticipated list. I am just excited for this movie to finally come out, because I liked the first one, and this one looks like it's going to be nostalgic and entertaining. I think, is Hans Zimmer doing the score? I'm not entirely sure. I think he is. But it's just going to be cool to see Tom Cruise again in this movie, and what I'm sure could be a very entertaining action movie, especially with what looks like it's going to have really cool jet stunts. So I'm excited. Number 10, Jurassic World Dominion. I've liked all the Jurassic World movies so far, and I like the first Jurassic Park movie. And with this one, bringing in classic actors and characters from the previous movies, it looks like at its worst, it's going to be a dumb but entertaining thrill ride, and at its best, I hope it can be an emotional and nostalgic tribute to the Jurassic franchise as a whole. Number 10, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This one is a bit of a mixed bag for me, because on the one hand, I'm excited to go back into Wakanda. I'm excited to see all these other side characters again. And I feel like with the death of Chadwick Boseman is one of what makes things mixed for me, because on the one hand, it's going to feel so different without him. And there's a part of me, it's like, but I want T'Challa's story to continue. I want it to be recast, but I also don't, I feel like respecting Chadwick Boseman is also the right way to go, so I don't know. But I feel like either way, there's going to be an effective and emotional tribute to a wonderful actor who played a great role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So while I'm so sad that he won't be in it, I feel like Ryan Coogler could do this right. Number 8, Fantastic Beasts: The Secret is a Dumbledore. I'm someone who's liked the Fantastic Beasts movies up to now. The second one I liked a lot more upon first seeing than upon later viewings. But I feel like this one, like the trailer, I enjoyed it, but it didn't really hook me. It needs to get a right balance of the Fantastic Beasts aspect of the franchise. It needs to get a right aspect of like the Dumbledore Grindelwald rivalry and how they both connect, and it needs to it needs to make itself more distinct, more heartfelt. Because the second Fantastic Beasts movie was too muddled with plot lines and characters. It didn't feel too necessary or compelling. I feel like for this one, they need to do away with it, make it more simple. It's about these two aspects: Newt Scamander and Fantastic Beasts, Dumbledore and Grindelwald in their war. As long as this one isn't too muddled, I feel like it would be very fun. And I'm always happy to go back to Hogwarts. Number 7, Lightyear. I freaking love Toy Story. I mean, if you see my video from 3 years ago where I talked about my most anticipated movies of 2019, Toy Story 4 was at the top of that list. I gave it 10 out of 10. And this movie just looks like it's going to be a really cool and interesting animated sci-fi movie about, what inspired the Buzz Lightyear toy. This is a movie that canonically Andy and the toys from Toy Story would watch. So I think it's just going to be really cool, action-packed. I'm excited to hear Chris Evans' voice as Buzz Lightyear. And I'm all up for some good old Toy Story nostalgia. Just inject that right into my veins. I'm excited. At number 6, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1. I love Into the Spider-Verse. It's tied with No Way Home as my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's got beautiful visuals, intense action, and a great story about what it means to be Spider-Man. And this one looks like it's going to go nuts with Miles traveling across universes instead of those universes coming to him. It looks like we're going to see cool characters, cool worlds, and it's just going to be, once again, visually stunning. So I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I'm always excited to see a new Spider-Man movie. Number 5, The Flash. I like Ezra Miller's take on The Flash. Not as good as Grant Gustin, but I thought he really worked well in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And if they keep that general version of the character up for this movie, and then they tie it in with, the multiverse and Supergirl and Michael Keaton's Batman, nostalgia for these old movies, I think it sounds really good. Of course, I'm excited to see that Flash is finally getting his own film, but I'm so excited for Return of Michael Keaton's Batman. I loved those movies growing up. Lego Batman, the video game, with that classic Batman score, was one of my favorite games growing up. So I have a feeling, even if this movie doesn't do great on a Flash aspect, it's going to be nostalgic as heck, so I'm super excited. Number 4, Knives Out 2. Knives Out was one of my most surprising yet favorite movies of 2019, with such a distinct style and tone, great direction from Rian Johnson, a phenomenal cast led by Daniel Craig, and I'm so excited to see him return in a new movie with a great new cast with Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, Kathryn Hahn, this whole great, and just so many more people. I think this movie, as it goes to Greece, and I think it's also New York, if it keeps up the same general style and tone and just on the edge of your seat, constantly laughing script of the last movie, I think it could turn out really, really great. And number 3, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I'm not a huge fan of the first Doctor Strange movie, but this one, just based on the trailers and how it builds off of No Way Home, looks really entertaining. I'm excited to see it explore all these cool new different worlds and characters. But I think what's most exciting, it's heavily rumored that it'll deal with iconic past Marvel properties, kind of like how No Way Home dealt with, the Amazing Spider-Man and Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. This one's rumored to be dealing with other classic Marvel films from pre-MCU. So still, none of that is confirmed. It could very well just be an awesome movie about Doctor Strange and Wanda in the multiverse, seeing cool new worlds, the prospect of some cool nostalgia and exploration of maybe X-Men would be pretty cool. So even without that, I'm still super hyped for this movie, but it seems like this movie could be very daring and unique, especially with Sam Raimi directing. And number 2, Thor: Love and Thunder. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite movies of the all time because it is hilarious, it's visually thrilling, and it just fixes the Thor movies in a way that makes them so much more unique and entertaining from the first two. And with Taika Waititi returning, most of the principal cast of Thor Ragnarok returning, I think this movie is just going to be crazy and entertaining as heck. I'm excited to see the return of Natalie Portman. And I think this is just going to be a celebration of all the Thor movies that come before, with the style and tone of Ragnarok, but it kind of respects the Jane Foster storyline as the first two. This is my most anticipated MCU movie of 2022, one of my most anticipated MCU movies in general, and I am so hyped. And of course, at number one, miles above everything else, is The Batman. I am so excited for this movie. I just love how it looks like it's going to be exploring a younger Bruce Wayne in a grittier Gotham with a mystery story, as he has to solve this serial killer, or solving clues. It's this younger, angrier, more brutal Bruce Wayne who has to deal with his mental issues. He's still angry about the death of his parents. It's going to be bringing in classic characters with fantastic actors like Andy Serkis as Alfred, Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot. I'm excited to see this cool Zodiac killer like Riddler. I'm excited to hear more of this amazing Michael Giacchino score. All the visuals in the trailers are awesome. This movie just looks like it was the Batman movie made for me, and I am so freaking excited for this film. So those are my 26 most anticipated movies of 2022. I'm so excited to check them all out and review them all here for the channel. I'm going to take a bit of a break for the next couple weeks, but by the end of January, you will get reviews for the Peacemaker premiere and Morbius. So I hope you're excited for those, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye. Have a great year.